What's up guys, Aaron Bennett here. In this video, I'm going to go over a couple things. The first, Celsius dropping its Aave and Compound debt to $123 million and paying off $113 million in 24 hours. I'm going to cover this story, let you guys know what I think about it. I'm also going to talk about Voyager because they have just released an update to everything that could happen with their reorganization, restructuring, Chapter 11, and everything going on. Now, I'm going to compare this to, unfortunately, what we're getting from Celsius, which unfortunately is a big fat freaking zero in terms of communication. And even the company Vauld has been communicating with their depositors. I'm going to touch on that, let you guys know what they're doing in terms of kind of giving themselves some time in order to work out some restructuring. Now, Vauld performed similar functions as Celsius, or they kind of gave people yield. So I'm just going to compare what's going on again with Celsius, Voyager, and Vauld, and let you guys know what I think about everything right now. But before I dive into that, taking a look at the price of Bitcoin, we are just hitting that oversold part of the band right there. Taking a look at the simple moving average for the last 4 years, the price of Bitcoin is just under 20,000 and the SMA for the last 4 years is at just under $22,000. So looking at it again throughout time, we can see that anytime that Bitcoin touched this 4-year moving average, we saw a massive bull run going all the way back to 2015. All right, so let's cover this story about Celsius paying off a lot of its loans. So one day and 5 hours ago from this video, they repaid $20 million of USDC to Aave. Then we have 18 hours and 30 minutes ago or so, they repaid another $10 million bucks to Aave. Then 17 hours and 33 minutes ago, they repaid $30 million DAI to Compound. And 17 hours 21 minutes ago, as this video, they repaid $5 million DAI to Compound. And 12 hours ago, they repaid 18 million USDC to Aave. So the question really is, what does this all mean and how is this affecting, or will this affect us as a depositor? Now, what I believe is happening, and also what people who are probably smarter than me believe it's happening, is Celsius is basically filling the holes, repaying their debts, basically getting all that locked money, all that locked liquidity out of these protocols to officially present exactly how much money they have. They can then present to any potential investors or even us, hey, these are our financials. This is exactly what it looks like after we repaid all of our debts and we unlocked all of this collateral. Now, I think that's what they're doing to basically prepare for the next step of their recovery plan. Now, I'm really hoping that there is a recovery plan here, whether it's through Simon Dixon, if he can get to the board, or if Celsius is actually going to do it themselves. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in terms of those two options, but I am still with you guys, and I am literally praying that things go the way that's best for you and I, and for everybody else who has had their assets locked in Celsius to get the most and hopefully all of it back. So let's take a look at Voyager and what they put out just yesterday. So they gave an update on customer USD and crypto. They talked about on July 5th, they started a voluntary restructuring process under Chapter 11 to create an efficient path to resume account access and return value to the customers. So they talk about restoring access to US dollar deposits, which they say belong to the customers and will go back to the same customers subject to a reconciliation and fraud prevention process, whatever. So will people get their US dollars back? They said customer USD is held in a special type of bank account called a for benefit of customer, or FBO account at the Metropolitan Commercial Bank of New York, MBC. The amount of USD held in the FBO account is equal to the amount of USD in customer accounts. Now they're talking about if the USD is FDIC insured, and they say yes, it is. The USD in your Voyager account is held at MCB and is FDIC insured. That means you are covered in the event of MCB's failure, up to a maximum of $250,000 per Voyager customer. But here's the kicker. FDIC insurance does not protect against the failure of Voyager. But to be clear, Voyager does not hold customer cash. That cash is held at MCB. So basically, that FDIC insurance only accounts if the Metropolitan Commercial Bank of New York goes under, not if anything happens to Voyager. So it's already like a mini rug pull happening for people at Voyager. Very, very frustrating. What will happen to the crypto in my account? Voyager says there's currently approximately $1.3 billion of crypto assets on Voyager's platform, plus the claims against Three Arrows Capital of more than $650 million. So the customers will receive a combination of the following, with the ability to select the proportion of crypto and common equity they receive, subject to certain maximum thresholds. They can get shares of crypto, proceeds from the 3AC recovery, which we don't know how much, if any, of that $650 million they will get back. They can get some common shares in the newly reorganized company, and also Voyager tokens. How much of my crypto are they going to get back? At this stage, they are proposing that customers will receive their crypto as described above. So basically, a combination of whatever they get from 3AC plus crypto, shares in a reorganized company, and Voyager tokens. But again, here, subject to certain maximum thresholds. So they're throwing this in there basically saying, we're going to limit how much you will be getting back. So this was obviously written by lawyers. So now let's take a look at Vald, which is basically having the same issues that Voyager and Celsius are most likely having. And you can see they used to offer interest on Bitcoin, ETH, and stablecoins. So very, very similar. So what Vald is doing is they are enacting a moratorium, giving them time to prepare a way forward that would benefit you as a creditor, and they're giving themselves basically 30 days. So they're basically continuing to communicate through what's going on here. Here they talk about why they are filing for a moratorium. Basically, they said they have a mismatch of assets and liabilities where the main contributing factors to the gap have been mark-to-market losses on Bitcoin, ETH, and Matic trades, and exposure to UST, where that obviously went to basically zero. They said they have assets worth $330 million and liabilities worth around $400 million. So they are at least being very forthright with what is going on right now, which again, I wish Celsius was. We all do. So they give 6 ways that they can work this out. They may even join forces with Nexo, so raising more venture capital, exploring alternatives to a complete acquisition, waiting for some of the capital to be returned, possibility of converting debt to equity, issuing our own token, developing a payment plan tied to future revenue. So I'm sharing these 3 things. We have Celsius, which is basically just repaying their debts, but they're not talking about anything publicly. So all we are doing is speculating and guessing and hoping and praying that things go well for us. Then we have Voyager, which is obviously having issues too, but they are very vocal and communicative of what's going on, which is much, much better than what Celsius is doing. And similar to Voyager, we have Vald, which who knows what's going to happen, but they are at least talking about it publicly and sharing things publicly, basically going through what they are most likely going to consider moving forward. So where do I stand on all this? Well, I wish that Alex and the company and Celsius would say something. Other than that, again, myself, every other YouTuber, and Simon Dixon, and everybody on Twitter, we're just kind of guessing what is happening behind the scenes based upon history, based upon what usually would happen before something like a Chapter 11 or before some sort of restructuring, but ultimately we don't really know. So guys, that's it for the video. I am here with you guys. I am not bouncing off of Celsius like most YouTubers that don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm going to be telling you guys everything that's going on from here on out. So if you haven't subscribed, definitely do so, and I will come at you with future updates. All right, guys, talk with you soon, and bye for now.